Hello and welcome to the Browns Blitz. Today is Thursday, August the 13th. This is episode number 359. I'm your host, Rod Bloom. Joining me tonight is my brother, Jeff. Hey, Jeff, how's it going?
Hey, Rod, going good. Did you get your invite to the team dinner tonight?
I did not, as a matter
Yeah,
of
neither
fact.
did
Did
I.
you? Oh, kind of surprising. I thought
Yeah,
they'd
I,
at
I,
least
I
invite
can't
one
believe
of us.
they left us out, but yeah.
I mean, they seem to
Anyway,
get a lot of ideas from us, so
right.
kind of disappointing. But yeah,
Yeah.
well, show must go
Hopefully
on. So maybe they don't want to
they're,
interrupt the
hopefully
show.
they're loading up on carbs, so they're ready to go on Saturday.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope so. Yeah. So I mean, we've been waiting a long time to be able to say that we got a game coming up. So
Yep.
it's preseason, doesn't really count, but not in the standings anyways. But it counts for the players, guys out there
Sure
fighting
does.
for their professional lives and
Yeah.
and kind of their spots on the on the depth chart and things like that.
I'd say
Um,
there's probably 45 to 50 guys that the next couple weeks are really critical for.
yeah, yeah, definitely. Jeremy's a
Here's
little bit.
Jeremy.
Cheers. He's a little bit ahead of us on the
Jumping ahead a
drinks,
segment.
but yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. We'll get to that here in just a minute. But yeah, we got the game coming up. I wanted to say real quick. I talked about Sherry's licorice last week, Jeff. I got my
Yeah.
order I think day before yesterday. I've
Okay.
only cracked one pack open, and I tried some of the cherry. It, when you were eating a lot of licorice, what flavor do you think that was? Like a red
Strawberry.
licorice, strawberry. Okay,
Strawberry.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
we got a pack of strawberry. Haven't decided. We're gonna pass some of it off to some of the kids. Let
Yeah.
them enjoy it too. But
Cool.
yeah, so I wanted to try the cherry, but we got that scrolling. We'll let that scroll for a little bit longer. Again, if you guys place an order, you can use the code Elves Network 15. That'll get you 15% off your order, and it'll help us out too, our sponsor. So, but yeah, it was good stuff, and yeah, I enjoyed it. So
Good.
anyways, yeah, I don't know if you can do licorice anymore, Jeff. So I know
Yeah,
you
I do a little bit of it. Not like I
but
used to though. But
you
yeah.
like what kind do you like the best? Because you still like the
Strawberry
black.
licorice.
You like strawberry,
No, I never did like the black licorice.
but you like black jelly beans, right?
No, huh?
I thought you liked
No.
black jelly beans.
No, I eat every kind of jelly bean but black. Yeah, I throw the
Okay,
blacks away. Yeah.
okay. I
Yeah,
thought you
that
were
black licorice taste, I never developed a taste for.
okay.
I know mom liked that stuff, but I
Maybe
didn't.
mom did. Okay, I couldn't
Yeah.
remember. I knew there's something about the black ones. I was thinking you liked them, not that you hated them and threw them away. So I had that a little bit messed up.
Hate's a strong word for candy,
No, I
but
just don't like them. Just
yeah,
don't like
just not
them.
my favorite.
That's all
Yeah.
right. Yeah, yeah. So I didn't ask you yet, Jeff. Are you drinking anything you want to talk about?
I just something I've talked about before. Yeah, I grabbed a beer out of the barn when I finished cutting grass, and that's why I'm still sniffling. But
Yeah, same. We got that going on. So
yeah,
so
so
yeah.
this is a brew dog. This one was one of the last I had of these. This is the cold alcohol free from brew dog.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, just sounded good after cutting the grass.
Yeah.
Best served ice cold, it says, which is my favorite way to enjoy a beer or anything close to
Well,
a beer.
especially in the summer, right?
Right. Exactly.
So yeah. So yeah, we're definitely um, the thing is, we're getting into football season, Jeff. We're also getting precariously close to that time when we got to switch the beer over from the summer beer to the
Right.
fall and
Yeah.
the darker the winter beers. So
There you go.
um, so I'm working on. I got like a couple of these peach ales left, so I've talked about it before, but that's what I'm drinking tonight. So same thing, trying to drink up some of the summer ones. Got to
Yep.
do a little bit of a switch over here coming soon.
Sounds good.
So cheers
All
to
right.
Jeremy, to anybody else watching, and cheers to the Browns on the first preseason game.
Sounds good.
Yeah. So yeah, Browns play Saturday. I'm kind of excited. I'll be honest, Jeff. I don't know if I'm going to watch it live or not. I mean, it's Saturday afternoon. I'll be
1:00 on a Saturday. Yeah.
Yeah, if I can watch it live, I will. If not, we got some other things going on. If not, I'll probably watch it Saturday night later. But it's not that important, as far as seeing it live and finding out who wins or anything like that. I just want to see how the players play. But
Sure.
but yeah, the good thing for me is that the Bengals are playing tonight.
Okay.
And that means that the Browns, I knew the Browns were going to be on Saturday. That they won't be preempted by the Bengals. So I've already got it set to record, so I don't have to worry about missing it or forgetting about it. Not that I forget, but yeah. So that's coming up. They got the Bears. I don't know. Does it really matter who they play in the preseason?
Just from the standpoint that you want to find out what you're made of, right? You play a playoff team that's coming off a pretty good season and good measuring stick. Find out where these guys are.
Yeah, and we can hope that I'll be honest, I had the Bengals game on. Not that I was paying a lot of attention to it, but I mean, it's football, so I had it on while I'm getting ready for the podcast and doing some other stuff. And that game was 3-0, partway into the second quarter. Not real exciting. A lot of bad snaps. A lot of just didn't look real good. So
defenses are ahead of offenses everywhere, not just in Berea. Huh?
Yeah. So we can hope that the Browns offense looks better than that. I wouldn't hope. I
wouldn't hold my breath. Yeah.
No, I wouldn't. I'm not going to put a lot of money on it or anything like that. But
I just hope that the first false start that Todd Monken doesn't throw his radio through the camera or something.
He might have some reactions. We'll have to see. Have to see what happens.
Yeah.
So
people wanted to see emotion.
Oh, they're going to see emotion from Todd Monken.
Careful what you wish for.
That is for sure. So we knew what was going to happen with the quarterback stuff, even though the national people are overreacting. We knew that that one of the quarterbacks is going to start this week and one's going to start next week. So it's not anything big. It's not some big pronouncement that Watson's starting this week over Sanders, even though some people are taking it that way. They just haven't been paying attention.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, it makes a lot of sense to start Watson on the road and start Sanders at home next week. Just from a fan reaction standpoint.
Yeah.
Let Watson play this game on the road, get a good look at him, and then the fans will be behind Sanders next week, and that'll help boost him. So I think it gives both guys a fair chance to really run the offense. And if you listen to Todd Monken's press conference, what he said was that whoever plays the first series in the Patriots game, the following, well, that's only like 5 days later. That's going to be the guy that's going to be your quote unquote starter in week 1 against the Jags.
Right. So
we really won't know until that Patriots game which one of those two guys is going to be the starter. I mean, you might know
We might know or have a pretty good idea from watching the preseason games, but if it's close at all, yeah, we might not know.
You might think yeah,
Yeah, we
because
might think
of
we
how they
know,
play
but
in the games. Yeah, I mean,
right.
if Watson throws 3 interceptions and Sanders throws 3 touchdowns in the first halves of their games, I mean, it might feel like a no-brainer, but we'll see.
Yeah, yeah. And Watson gets the Bears on the road, and Sanders gets the Bills at home. I mean, I think the Bills' defense is still pretty good. Maybe a little drop off last season, but
Yeah.
two pretty decent defenses, I think, for these guys. So, so it'll be interesting. A good test, like you said, against two good teams. We'll see how long everybody plays their starters, but it's not going to be long.
Honestly, it's for me. It's much more about how the team functions than how these guys produce in these games. I mean,
Right.
you want to see them throw the ball accurately or reasonably accurately. You want to see them make good decisions. But the most important thing to me is are they getting plays in and out? Are they doing stupid things, or are they keeping it relatively clean?
Are they lining up right? Are they
Yeah.
are they jumping? Do
How
they know the counts?
how has the installation of the offense gone in camp? Do they understand what they're trying to accomplish, and can they execute it at a reasonably successful level? And does that get better each week? So with a new coaching staff and all these new players, all these young guys and everything, that to me, that's way more important than who's playing quarterback.
Yeah, and I think you got to expect some hiccups in this first game, just with all the things you just mentioned.
Oh yeah, for sure.
If they play a relatively clean game, it's going to be very impressive.
Yeah, I think the over/under on the first offensive line penalty is probably the second snap.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised at all, if it happens like right away.
I'd be
just
afraid to
because.
take the over on that. Yeah. I don't want to go under second play though.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it just feels to me like it could be a rough start, and then maybe they'll start to figure things out after a couple series.
Yeah, I would think so. So
just going against live tackling and everything, right?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, right. So so you actually texted me, Jeff. We were out of town, but Jamari Thrash he was waived again.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, there's only so many spots in that receiver room.
Right.
It's probably probably gives him a shot, catch on with somebody else. I mean, honestly, he's a guy I thought had some talent. Going back to the preseason last year, he just hasn't had a lot of shots, and maybe he just hasn't shown enough in some specific area compared to what the other guys are doing.
Well, it's just really kind of sad to think about how many receivers the Browns have taken late in the draft over the last several years that just have not panned out. In the mid to late rounds that just have not really translated their skills to the NFL. You'd think at some point you'd hit on one, right? That was at least a bottom half of your roster kind of guy, and maybe Cedric Tillman can still be that guy. But yeah,
possibly. I mean, it makes things a little easier for him with Thrash gone, but
yeah, we've had a lot more success just bringing guys from other places. It's crazy.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I thought he probably should have gotten more playing time at times, but who knows what was going on behind the scenes that really prevented that. And obviously, this coaching staff kind of felt the same way about him as the last one did.
Yeah. So kind of interesting. The Browns had Zadarius Smith in. I think was it today?
Today. Yep.
Um,
Yep.
yeah. So he played part of the season last year and then retired.
Correct.
I think he sees an opportunity with this club. He probably likes some of the guys on the team.
Yeah.
Sees that he can probably get some playing time, and he must like somebody in Cleveland, to come back after
Yeah.
being traded.
Yeah.
Sounds like it's a possibility. Um,
I mean, he had a couple of pretty productive seasons here before they moved him.
he did, yeah.
Um, the only thing I'm concerned a little bit about is, he's 33 years old. He's sort of lost the motivation to play last year. I don't know how much of that was a result of his environment, how much of it is internal.
Hmm.
Um, how much gas does he have left in the tank? Um, are we going to see him play like he did 2 or 3 years ago? Um, I don't know. The coaching staff has to kind of get a feel for how motivated he is, right? But if he can approximate what he did here the last time, he'd be a nice ad.
Yeah, and I mean that's why the coaching staff and the general manager and his team get, that's why they get paid. They've
Right.
got to figure this stuff out because yeah, you think about the player he's been, throughout most of his career, and you think, oh yeah, I mean having him as part of that rotation would be nice, but you make some great points, and um, yeah, I mean he is 33.
Yeah,
So yeah.
he's got to be at least 80% of what he was a couple of years ago for him to keep guys like Tyreek Sapp and Logan Fano off the roster.
Yeah.
Because I think where we are as an organization, the Browns are really looking at young players right now. They're not looking at guys in their 30s.
Right.
But
Right.
you could use a guy like that in a role where he can sort of mentor and teach some of the young guys, as long as he can still contribute.
Yeah, I'm with you, but I mean, you look at Jared Verse, and I mean, he's a young guy, but man, he's doing a lot of that already, you know.
Yeah.
And you got some other guys who've been around at least a few years.
I
So
mean,
I
you
I
like
don't
that.
know.
You like the leadership component from Verse, but I think his game is still evolving as well.
Sure,
And
sure.
he could certainly benefit from a veteran that could sort of take him under his wing at this point. That would be nice, but yeah, we'll see if it's Zedarius or if it's somebody else down the line. I think there's a
Yeah.
spot
I mean,
available.
I like Zadarius Smith. He was nice enough to sign a hat for me, last year. So,
Yeah,
um, so,
yeah,
so of
yeah.
course,
He's a fun player. He's a fun
yeah. I
guy.
mean, yeah, definitely. So I'm rooting for him,
Yeah,
but yeah, you think about him taking one of those guys' spots, and you're like, this is kind of about being a young team. But then you
right.
start thinking about what are the Browns thinking? Are they, how many games are they thinking they're going to win? Are they thinking that, that if they add a few players in the right spots, they can make a run and all this stuff? And
Yeah,
it gets real hard to to balance out our expectations with the team's expectations right now, and
right.
to get the roster, and to do the same thing with the roster.
Yeah.
Um,
I think it's been a consistent message though that they feel like the important thing about developing these guys is in a winning environment.
yeah,
So
yeah,
whoever you add needs to help get you there. If you can add another win or two by bringing in key guys that bring some NFL experience, that's good for these rookies. These young guys need to be in a winning environment. It's too easy for this organization to fall back into old habits, when things start getting tough.
right. And I think a mix of just a few of the right vets, like you're
Yeah,
talking about, to mentor some of these guys,
yeah,
and to help them develop is a good thing. I mean, you're not just bringing in Za'Darius because he can help you win games. It's to help develop the guys. Some of the guys on the offensive line. It's a good point. But you got to balance that against keeping some of the younger guys who might develop later. So I mean it's a tough call. But yeah, I think it's gonna come down to them trying to build a roster to where they think they can get enough wins to have it be a positive environment.
Right.
I think that's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
So Jeremy says no. He thinks Smith is a paycheck player. I don't know about that, Jeremy. We'll see.
I don't know.
I mean, I like Za'Darius, but I mean, I don't know him personally, so I don't know his motivation right now. We'll have to see what happens. I mean, it's for the Browns brass to figure out. I hope if they bring him in, I hope he's more than just looking for a paycheck. I never thought he was that kind of guy when he was here. So we'll see. And injury free.
Yeah, that would be
enough injuries already.
Right.
The Browns are looking at guys who haven't played in 5 years to come in and play defensive tackle. It's kind of challenging right now.
We're shuffling through cornerbacks like they're dropping off the trees.
I didn't think it was worth even talking about those guys. Guys who probably haven't played since college. They need bodies right now. It's got to be a challenging environment for the coaches, for everybody. I mean, they're trying to get a team ready to play the regular season games, and they can't keep players on the field. So
we're going to see a lot of these guys on Saturday, and it is a good opportunity for somebody to show up.
Yeah. 27. He's playing with the Bengals. I saw him play a little bit. Yeah, I saw. Yeah, Joe Flacco had one of those snaps that went flying behind him or something, and they all had to dive on the ball. There was 3 or 4 of those like within 5 or 10 minutes in that game. Just kind of ugly. But that's what we get with early preseason football. We wait for months. We're like, football's here, and then it takes these guys a little while to get going. So we need some patience.
Yeah.
So Jeff, did you see? This is what I was searching for on my phone because I should have had this ready and I closed out of it. But if I can find it here, and find the right thing here. Browns released a depth chart for the first preseason game. I was going to send this to you, and I apologize. I did not get that to you. So I don't know if you had a chance to look at this or not. But I was kind of most curious about the offensive line, and how they had it set. And obviously it depends who's ready to go and who's not. Todd Monken said the goal is to have the starters play the first series. So
provided they're healthy.
And I'm assuming some starters will play more than that, and some starters will not. Some starters, particularly the quarterback, will play more than the first series. Other guys will get off the field quickly while they're still healthy.
Yeah,
hopefully. So
I think we'll see the left side of the offensive line for probably most of the first quarter, maybe into the second quarter. The right side of the offensive line, I think that's going to be a work in progress. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, I think the only, we've talked about it quite a bit, is they do have Tevin Jenkins starting at right guard.
I don't know if he's going to be healthy enough to play.
Yeah, I mean, just that's how they have the depth chart. So it's kind of interesting that they still have him there at right guard. He hasn't lost a spot yet.
Yeah,
they've got KT Leviston as the number 2 at right guard.
Yeah.
And they everybody else, they got Fano over DeJuan Jones at left tackle, and Titus Howard still starting at right tackle, of course. Got and Austin Barber behind him, but that whole second team is a lot of those guys can play other spots too. So
Sure. Yeah.
so you never know, but I don't think there's any surprises on the offense other than I was just really looking at that offensive line really to see if they had Tevin Jenkins in there listed. As far as the defense, not really. That's what you would expect. Other than they only list 2 safeties, so you have to figure Emmanuel McNeil Warren's going to get a lot of playing time as third safety.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I'm going to keep a close eye on the offensive line. Not really in terms of who's playing where, but just how much push are they getting in the run game?
Mm-hmm.
We've been talking a lot lately about how we want to see them sort of dictate in the run game. And some of these guys are really effective run blockers. I think if Austin Barber sees a lot of time at right tackle, it's going to be interesting to see how many times they run behind him. I think if Leviston and Barber are on the right side for most of the second quarter into the second half, there could be some nice opportunities to run the ball that direction. The passing game, again, that's like Emory Hunt says, it's kind of up to the quarterback, right?
Yeah.
But really just watching how these guys get off in the run game, and can they create some movement and maybe some holes for our backs.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I was going to ask you, what else do you read into that into that depth chart, but there's really not a lot there. I mean, it just tells me that Tevin Jenkins hasn't lost a spot yet, and that these guys are still kind of playing the preseason to kind of shake things out. And I think they expect 4 of those guys to start, and and that 5th spot is going to depend on whether Tevin Jenkins is healthy or whether they feel like somebody else is more prepared to start. That first game.
And honestly, even if he is healthy enough to play, I don't know that they keep him out there long anyway, just based on how much time he's missed.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't really read anything into it in this first preseason game. Until all these guys are healthy and practicing together, you're not going to know who your 5 best offensive linemen are. Maybe not until we're a few weeks into the season.
Right. Yeah. Well, again, what we can hope for is that these guys are all get healthy, stay healthy, and to where it is a competition, and they can actually put the 5 best guys out, or the 5 guys who are most capable of playing those 5 positions,
right?
And give the Browns the best chance to have a cohesive offensive line, run the ball and pass protect.
Yeah, that's the other thing we've talked about is the 5 best guys versus the 5 best players at an individual position, at their individual positions, right? I mean, so the 2 best left tackles might not be the 2, or might not be in the top 5, or might be in the top 5. We'll see, right? We could see DeJuan move around. We could see Luke Whippler in a number of spots as the veteran now. They could be playing him in a number of spots, right? So, yeah, still early to really get a feel for who's going to settle in where. But it'll be interesting to watch. And again, I'm just looking for that productivity right now. Individuals, because I've seen some of these guys. I've seen Austin Barber in the run game in college, and I'm kind of looking forward to seeing him at the next level. Can he make the same kind of can he get the same kind of pressure and push at the NFL level? I think he can. Well, it'll be fun.
Yeah. So I know we're looking at the first preseason game this year, but if you could flash forward even to like next season, where do you see some of these guys playing? I mean, just I guess if you assume a lot of the guys we're talking about are still on the Browns, just kind of forgetting contract status and all that. Right. How do you see some of this shaking out on the offensive line? Because you've talked about Austin Barber becoming a starter, and some of the other guys are able to shift possessions. What's your feel for, or what's your thought on how things might shake out as having the 5 best guys or guys finding positions that they're really good at?
Yeah. I think Andrew Berry went out to get a lot of flexibility in free agency and via trade because he wasn't sure who he was going to have that they were going to be developing. And as it turns out, they have 2 tackles and a center that they're trying to develop right now. They don't have anybody at guard really that they're trying to develop. I think we'll see next year that they'll bring in 1 or 2 guards. One of those high picks next year might be a guard that they're going to try to speed into the lineup in the next year or 2, right? They're going to try to accelerate his development. So yeah, as far as those 3 vets, they all have positional flexibility, and I think where they play will be driven by who else you're trying to develop into a starter. Fano's a lock. He's a lock somewhere. Okay, we're going to find out if he can hold up at left tackle in the NFL this year. I mean, that's probably a fairly high certainty that he will be able to, but there's still a chance that they're going to need to relocate him at some point. I mean, we've seen it with other guys who were drafted as left tackles in the NFL, and it's a tough job, right? So, I mean, he has the athletic ability, really, in my mind, to play anywhere on the line, and might, he might. So, and he's going to be a long-term piece on that line. So, we're going to see him at left tackle this year, and then there will be an evaluation about whether he's going to stick there. Again, 80% positive he will. Then once you know that, then you can start to think about those other guys. And getting back to Barber, I think there's probably a 50% chance that Austin Barber could be a starting tackle in the NFL, just depending on how he develops over the next couple seasons. I think there's probably a 75% chance he could be a really good right tackle. So his odds of sticking are much better on the right side than they are on the left side. Okay. Beyond that, I think, he has the ability to play really inside as well, at either guard position if they feel like he just doesn't hold up well enough at tackle. Okay. So all of those questions I think will be answered this year, and that'll tell us who else we're plugging in next year in the developmental pipeline. And it could end up that the whole deck gets shuffled. That you have Elton Jenkins moving around, you have Titus Howard moving around, just to kind of get a look at some of these other guys at different positions, right? So hopefully in 2 seasons between this year and next year, we've identified 5 guys that we want to go forward with long term. I think that's how you have to build the offensive line. It doesn't all happen at once.
Right. Right.
You put together a respectable line this offseason, but to think about, okay, who's going to be our offensive line in 3 years, 5 years, 10 years? Okay,
That's hard.
We're a ways away from knowing that, but I think we'll know it sometime next year.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens with DeJuan Jones. I mean, from everything we're hearing, he's looked really good. But I mean, until he's able to stay healthy, it's hard to think about plugging him into a spot long term. So, I mean, again, like I've said before, he's a likable guy. Everybody's rooting for him. You'd love for him to be one of your long-term 5 offensive linemen because of his size and because of what he's looked like when he's played at times. So this is a huge season for him. I mean, it's a contract year for one thing,
right?
But man, there's a chance that DeJuan Jones looks good this season, gets pressed into action somewhere, and turns out having a great season. And maybe he's an answer too. And he's probably pretty much outside of the Browns, coaching staff, he's probably a forgotten guy by a lot of people right now.
I think DeJuan will always get opportunities in the NFL just because of what a unicorn he is. That works for him. It also kind of works against him, I think. You look at how he's built. He carries a lot of his weight high.
Yeah.
And that just sort of predisposes him to leg injuries.
Right.
Which we've seen, right? So I think if he doesn't stick, somebody will give him a chance because they're going to look at his athletic profile and they're going to say, wow, we can fix this guy. We just got to keep him healthy, right? So for him, it's not like he's playing for his career or anything like that. He's playing to just sort of prove that, I can hold up at the NFL level and I can stay healthy.
Well, I think people like him. I think people would like to see him succeed here.
Oh yeah, he's an easy guy to root for sure.
Yeah, I think that's more what I'm looking at. Not that he's certainly not going to have a hard time, like you said. He's not going to have a hard time getting a shot somewhere. Because with his size, he's going to get. He would get multiple shots if the Browns didn't try to re-sign him.
Yeah, I just think right now he's fighting for a roster spot. He has to prove that he's one of the however many offensive linemen they keep, whether
9
it's
8,
or 10.
10. Whatever.
And depending on what they do with some of the other positions, it could be touch and go at the end to see whether DeJuan sticks. I think with his contract restructure and so forth. I mean, they don't owe him a lot of money, so he's got to stay healthy and he's got to continue to prove that he can play every game. But I'm going to root for him. I hope this is the year that he sort of puts it all together and can be a solid player for us. That would be really great. Earn that extension.
Yeah, I mean, I just think about the future of DeJuan Jones at right tackle, maybe Austin Barber at right guard, or any combination over there. That'd be that could be nice.
That would be a huge right side for sure.
Yeah. So So we'll see. But yeah, I think I'm with you. I'll be paying attention to the offensive line and trying to figure out who all the guys are shuffling in and out, and just kind of watching
Hmm.
the push and um, just hoping, just hoping that they kind of get in a rhythm. I know it's challenging that first preseason game, especially with how many guys are going to be going in and out. But yeah, it's just going to be fun to actually see football again, even if it gets a little frustrating.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
So I was going to mention the defensive backs, Jeff. I mean, we're kind of expecting the defensive backs to play a bigger role, under Mike Rutenberg this year. I'm guessing we're really not going to see anything in the preseason. That
Yeah.
it's going to be just vanilla defense.
Yeah.
So, do you expect anything from these guys other than just guys playing for their jobs, during the preseason games?
Yeah, I'm just going to repeat what I've said before. I think you're going to see a lot of very opportunistic play from the defensive backs. They're looking for turnovers. That's going to be the biggest change that we're going to notice to our defense. I think the defensive line is still going to be aggressive. They're going to be trying to get into the backfield. The linebackers I think are going to be solid. But the defensive backs, I think their goal this year is to create a lot of turnovers, and that's a risk reward thing, right? Especially when you're playing a lot of really young guys. So it could turn out that we see guys picking off some balls and creating opportunities for our offense. It could also mean that they're going to get burnt a couple of times. And look really bad doing it, So, and that's okay. In the preseason, I'm fine with that. I think once you get your starters in there and your plan in place, you can do that with a little bit less risk. It's still going to be higher risk than what we've seen in the past, but I think your reward will probably be higher.
Yeah. I got to tell you, I know Carson has been banged up and stuff. I don't know how much he's going to play. I mean,
probably not.
Yeah, I want him healthy for the season, but I'm excited to see him and Quincy Williams out there. I know we've had other linebackers in the past. I know we had a guy last year who was pretty good that went to Chicago, but I think Quincy Williams he sounds really excited to play with Carson.
Yeah.
So I think he's happy to be here. I think I think we're in store for a nice season from him, and I think those two guys are going to complement each other.
Yeah, I just kind of hope we don't see a whole lot of those guys in the preseason because we need them, and we don't have a whole lot of depth behind them. So
right.
I mean,
I can wait. I can wait till the regular season.
Yeah, I'd really rather wait a few weeks to see those guys play together.
Yeah, I mean, Carson doesn't need. I don't think either one of those guys needs a lot of time in the preseason to be ready. So yeah, I'm good. Give me anybody else out there, and that's fine. So not a problem. What else? We talked about the offensive line. I brought up some of the defensive stuff. What else are you specifically looking at in this preseason game? I mean, I know we're looking at the quarterback, see how he does, but what else? What else are you looking for in this preseason game, Jeff?
Yeah, the run game. I think I've mentioned in the past. Who is going to be that power back for us that complements Quinshon Judkins. So we've got a couple of candidates in Raheem Sanders. Monty Marshall might get some opportunity. I want to see these guys be decisive in their running and get positive yardage, right? Beyond that, who's going to get the targets from our quarterbacks? We can't just use Harold Fannin as our safety valve. There's got to be guys that we can count on in various situations. So, the two rookies for sure early on. I think it'll be fun to see how they use them. And then we're just going to be looking at the rest of the depth. Tons of opportunity right now in the tight end room. Who's going to step up and be that number 2 guy? So will we see a big game from Blake Whiteheart or somebody else that really creates an opportunity for himself? So yeah, just the function of the offense, where they're going, and who are the guys that really sort of separate themselves from the pack beyond the obvious guys.
Yeah, you bring up a good point with the tight ends. I mean, we kind of mentioned it, over the past couple of weeks, but there's going to be a lot of opportunity for these guys. Guys, I mean, there's guys who might get more targets in these first couple preseason games than they would get all season. Just with a chance to stand out. And I know sometimes it doesn't amount to a hill of beans how many catches you make in the preseason, but you know what? I mean, the Browns, I think they got probably 2 guys who are locks at tight end, and the other guys are fighting for spots more than likely.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I think all these minutes, all these reps, all these targets are going to be very important for the tight ends. And not just that. I mean, it's how they contribute anywhere else in the game. Whether it's special teams or blocking or anything else. It's not just how many catches they make. So
I think that's a great point. That's what's going to determine the last 5 or 10 spots on the roster. Is can you contribute in a lot of other ways?
Yeah.
So we're looking at that as well. Will our 3 and 4 linebackers be stud special teamers, kick unit guys? They have to be, right? So I think this is an area where style points matter. In preseason, we're looking for guys that separate themselves, and there's plenty of jobs that can be won on this football team right now.
Yeah. I mean, Saturday starts that process, and you want to see some consistency from some of these guys. I mean, these guys are going to get opportunities in all 3 games. Tight ends, the offensive linemen. Even guys. Even the battles for. I don't know how many wide receiver spots you think are being fought for. I mean, obviously the first 3 are taken. It really depends how many they carry, but it's really hard to say who are locks as far as wide receivers. But I mean, I
think there's 4 locks. Right now, there's 4, maybe 5.
Isaiah Bond's probably a lock too.
Isaiah Bond, I think, is a lock, and Tylan Wallace is maybe a lock.
Maybe because of special teams. Yeah.
Yes.
So you got 4 to 5. So you got one or two wide receiver spots, right?
Cedric Tillman and Malachi Corley are probably fighting for that 6th spot.
Yeah. And I mean, and that's rough. I mean, I think it really depends. I mean, we've seen these guys. I mean, I think we know what Cedric Tillman is. The guy is pretty good when he's healthy. He has a hell of a time staying healthy.
Yeah.
I think he's got a lot of promise, but I mean, he just can't stay off the injured list. Malachi Corley, he brings a lot, but it's on certain types of plays.
Right.
So you got to figure out how to use him properly. So if Monken likes that type of player and can utilize him, I think Corley is a great addition. I mean, I like Corley, but
I think there's a lot of parallels between Corley's game and KC Concepcion in terms of the quickness and the strength and the ability to separate. So it's almost like an insurance policy, right? That's probably what they're looking at. You'd like to have a couple of guys on your team that can do that.
I mean, Corley's a little closer to a running back once he gets the ball in his hands, around the line of scrimmage.
Exactly. Yes.
Whereas I think Concepcion is closer to an Isaiah Bond type guy when he gets the ball in his hands, but
I'd say there are two types of running backs. I mean, if you think about Judkins and Sampson.
Yeah.
I drew a blank for a second.
Season hasn't started yet, so that's a lot to happen.
Right. You have the bruising running back and you have the evasive running back, and I think that's kind of the difference between Concepcion and Corley. Corley's going to hit
100%.
you. Yeah. He's going to punch you in the mouth and get that extra yard.
Yeah, he's not afraid to do that.
Yeah. So I think there's a place for a guy like that on the roster. Knowing how Todd Monken approaches the physicality of the running game and the offense. So I would be kind of surprised if Malachi Corley isn't on the initial roster. I would be less surprised if Cedric Tillman is not.
Yeah, I think so. And it's nothing against Cedric Tillman. It's just, again, it's the health issue.
Yeah, and I think from a depth standpoint, you have already two large possession receivers in Harold Fannin and Denzel Boston. And I think those are the guys that are going to get those kinds of plays. So what does Cedric Tillman really add to the equation? I mean, he's a good blocker downfield. But like you said, he's had a hard time staying on the field, and he's also, I believe, on PPE this year. So there's some money to be saved by just letting him go. Or maybe finding a trade partner if possible. I don't know if you can get a late pick for him.
Yeah, I mean he brings a third big body if you really want to to put three big bodies out there in a goal line situation, but
right.
I think that Tylen Green is going to be used in some unconventional ways too. I'm not going to say he's going to catch 6 passes or anything, but you can put him out there and run him into the end zone as a decoy too, and pretty much do the same thing. So, because I can't imagine that he's not going to make the team.
No, right.
So he's going to make the team. I think you use him. I'm not saying that he gets the ball all the time or that you throw him the ball all the time, because he is not a wide receiver, but God only knows what they're working on with him. But that's the thing. Other teams don't know what he can do.
That's going to be the most fun part of the whole season, I think, is just seeing how they use him. Right?
Yeah.
It's going to be like the old punter. Well, I think you mentioned this a while ago. What was his name? Johnny Evans?
Johnny Evans.
Yeah. When he used to go out there to punt, and then he'd come up under center and everybody go crazy. Yes,
going for it. When the punter's your backup or third string quarterback, whatever he was.
Quarterback, right? Yeah.
You don't know what's going to happen.
I think we're going to have a lot of moments like that this year that are just going to be fun to see how they use him, how they use Tylen Green. Just getting his hands on the football in a bunch of different creative ways will be so much fun to watch.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? If he is just on the field a few times a game, he ends up with a few passes, throws a few passes, runs the ball a few times, and is just in the background learning about QB. how to play the position better.
Yeah.
It's a successful season.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't need him to have 500 yards rushing or catch
No.
6 touchdowns or anything like
Right.
that.
Right.
It he should, he can be an excellent decoy on plays that'll just mess with the other team's mind because they're not going to know how he's going to be involved in the play.
Exactly. Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
and man, if we can't have some fun with stuff like that this year, man, because I think there's a chance the Browns win some games this year. They've got some talent. They've got some young guys who are going to work hard. This coaching staff, I think, really wants to win, but the reality is there's probably not a deep playoff run coming. So, we want to see development. We want to have fun. And I mean, that's one way that we can definitely have some fun.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's exactly what they were thinking when they drafted him. We certainly didn't need another developmental quarterback. He brings, though, a different physical ability than any other quarterback that was available. And just knowing what Todd Monken did with Lamar Jackson in Baltimore, it just shows it gets the juices flowing, like you said, for all the creative ways that guy can be used, and that will definitely be fun to watch.
Right. So Jeff, I've been talking a while. I know you had some things you wanted to get to.
No, I think actually we've covered everything, Rod.
Did I bring up all your stuff?
Yeah. Everything I had written down. I mean, yeah, the only thing that I just touched on briefly was, Todd Monken, the emotion the other day. That's really refreshing for Browns fans who have been clamoring for, anything other than what we've seen from Kevin Stefanski for the last 6 seasons, which is, very unemotional, right? Don't point the finger at anybody and look at the film kind of stuff, right? So not that stuff is necessarily bad. Okay, I think there are different approaches for different types of head coaches. And I read a really good article this week, and I apologize, I don't remember who wrote it. I think it was Jared. Wouldn't swear to it though, but just about the different coaches that owners hire and how, Art Modell went from Paul Brown to Blanton Collier, and then he started going through a whole bunch of different coaches, and he would generally go from one extreme to another in terms of the type of coach, right?
Yeah.
And it's kind of what we're seeing now with Stefanski last year and Monken this year. The emotion is a great thing to motivate people, but it can wear out as well. It can wear thin. Players want coaches who are steady, So I think Monken probably learned something as a result of that thing in practice. That hey, yeah, I can utilize that, but I've got to pick my spots.
Right.
I just got to be careful about doing it too frequently. And if I use it at the right time, I can get the reaction that I want out of my players. Okay. So that's another interesting thing to keep an eye on this year is, how does Todd Monken manage that as a first-time head coach in the NFL? Does he let the game get the better of him at times? Or does he use that as another motivational tool?
Yeah, and there's 2 sides to that, Jeff. There's exactly what you're talking about, and that's really the most important piece of it is the emotion and how that works with the players, and and what he gets out of the players. There's also how the fans see the coach, and I think Cleveland fans like an emotional coach. Okay, and I don't know if these guys are super emotional, but I mean, Marty Schottenheimer at least showed some emotion a lot at times. Sam Rutigliano showed a lot at times.
Yeah.
I mean, those guys won.
Yeah.
So, but I think we're an emotional fan base.
Of course.
We're very emotional.
Football's an emotional game.
Oh, it is. Yeah. I think that an emotional coach really fits who we are as fans. It's his emotions may not always fit ours.
Yeah. I mean,
but,
look, I think we'd be 100% fine with a Bill Belichick type coach if he won here as much as he won in New England. I think fans want what they think is the secret sauce.
Yeah.
Whatever the secret sauce is this year that we don't have, right? So if it's a coach who's willing to light a fire under his players a little bit more, and we haven't had that, okay, then yeah, maybe that'll get us over the hump, right? The reality is, like I said, that can't be overused. If it can, at most, it can be used a few times throughout the course of the season in key moments to really light a fire, right? Maybe in an overtime game, something like that, right? But in a playoff game. But if you go to that well too often, it's going to wear thin with the players. So, yeah, I think as a fan base, we're smart. We realize that we need certain things that we don't have. There's a place for all these different coaching styles. There's a reason these guys get jobs over and over and over.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm trying to get back to what I was thinking. There's different sides to Monken. I like I like that he wears his emotion on his sleeve, but I love the idea that he knows at least the thought. We'll see. I mean, it's not like he's a totally unproven guy. That he can get the best out of players and build an offense around players' skill sets. Okay.
Right.
That's what I really like about him as a coach. The emotion is just a piece of it.
That's what we're hearing, Rod. But
right.
Let's see it bear out.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. So yeah, the emotion can't be all a coach has. I agree with you. It's got to be the spot. It's got to be, picking your spots with it. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
But I think players like coaches who care, who give a shit when the team loses, when things don't go their way, when something happens to somebody, things like that. I mean, I've brought up Dan Campbell before. I mean, if I was a player, I'd run through a wall for Dan Campbell. That guy cries at press conferences, but he's tough as nails. You got all different sides with that guy, and he is not afraid to show any of it. So it's not just emotion all the time. It's other stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's great. You show who you really are. And I think Todd Monken, the emotion is genuine, but he's also got the football IQ that we'll hopefully see throughout the season. So, let's get to a few comments here, Jeff.
Jeffrey's back.
Yeah, good to see you, Jeffrey. So I was pounding the all off season to bring in a veteran quarterback, even if it was Marcus Mariota, but somebody.
Just going back to our quarterback conversation.
I would say
earlier?
it's going back to the QB conversation, Jeffrey.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean they've got 4 guys in the building. I don't know if they're going to bring in another guy. I mean, I wouldn't have had a problem with them bringing in somebody else, but especially with them drafting a quarterback. If they didn't draft Tylen Green, I could see him signing Mariota and letting Dylan go. But I mean, we tried the 5 quarterback thing last year, and it just kind of just
Right.
Well, I guess they actually did need 5 last year at one point, right, Jeff?
Yeah, they almost always do.
yeah, maybe it's not a terrible idea, but
I think next year is when you can go back to pounding the table for that, Jeffrey. I think when we settle on somebody, we're going to need somebody solid as a number 2. And yeah, that's when it'll make a lot of sense for me to go find a really solid backup. I don't think that's going to be the 2 guys that are vying for starter this year.
It's hard to say. It could be one of them.
It's possible, but not probable in my mind.
One of them could be the starter next year. We don't know.
One of them could be the starter next year, but I don't think one of those 2 guys is going to be our best option as our backup next year.
Yeah. Jeremy, it's 9:36. Sorry, Jeremy, we're 6 minutes late. Michigan still sucks, except for you like a lot of Michigan players, but you're emotional.
Yeah.
Hope you're still up and with us for the reading of the comment. Jeremy threw Aller through his first touchdown.
Okay.
Well, that's all right.
This is not a Steelers podcast, Jeffrey.
Not Steelers. We're not rooting for Drew Aller because he did not come to the.
He's a Medina kid, but he's with the enemy now.
Watson's already talking about he wants an extension. Jeff's talked about it.
There's a possibility, not a probability.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't seen him take a snap in a game yet. So let's see what he's got. Let's see what he's got. See if there's any merit to anything. Because if there's not, he's done.
He should have every motivation in the world to want to go out and earn his next contract.
Yeah. No Caleb Downs. No, we have not.
We have not.
We have not. All right, Jeff. Any prediction for anybody who shows?
I'm still shopping for Jeremy's Cowboys hat.
Yeah. Anybody shows out tomorrow night?
Well, look,
or not tomorrow night. Saturday.
Saturday night. I think Deshaun Watson is going to play well. I think there's going to be some issues with the function of the offense, especially early. There's going to be some struggles, but I think overall, the whole body of work, I think we're going to be talking next week about the fact that Deshaun Watson played pretty well. Like I said, he's got every reason to. He needs to justify staying in the league beyond this season. So he's healthy. He's basically had this job handed to him now. He should go out and perform pretty well Saturday night. And if he performs well, that means guys like Denzel Boston, Harold Fannin, Casey Concepcion, they're going to get tons of opportunities. Isaiah Bond might surprise us. We've been hearing about how good an offseason Isaiah Bond had. He could be the guy that sort of lights it up.
He's looked good in practice.
Chicago.
Yeah.
I'm really looking for again that change of pace back as well. So maybe this is the game where we finally see Raheem Sanders get 15 carries, and he can show us what he's capable of. That would be outstanding in my mind.
Could happen.
Defensively, you know what? Just play the game that we're familiar with on defense and come out of it healthy. That's all I care about.
Yeah, I'm just going to piggyback on that, Jeff. I think that we could see Denzel Boston and Casey Concepcion just kind of look somewhat professional out there with some nice catches and stuff. And
Yeah.
I think that would just be really promising. Not, I don't know how much they're going to play.
Right.
So I'm not going to put any numbers out or anything, but if they both have, if they each have a couple catches and and look professional, I'm going to feel really good about
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. They're rookies. We have to remember that. They're
Yeah.
rookies. But,
Yeah.
there's going to be mistakes, right?
Right.
But all in all, yeah, we're looking for these guys to show us why they were drafted high. I think we have to temper our expectations a little bit because, again, there's a lot of moving pieces, a lot of new guys. So give it some time. Give it some time to percolate.
Yeah.
Chris Edmonds.
Yeah, he should get some playing time tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm looking for the defensive backs to have fun, just to try to create some turnovers. That would be great.
Yeah,
I think that's overriding goal this year for the defense.
Yeah, Jeff, do we do score predictions for preseason games or not?
Oh, what the hell, we can.
I don't remember if we've done this in the past or not, but we might as well. I mean, yeah, we might as well start off early this year.
Yeah. So you want me to go first?
Yeah, go ahead.
So here's my thought. Chicago really has nothing to prove. I mean, they were a playoff team last year. They've got their quarterback. I think they're going to start some rookie or journeyman guy. I don't even know his name. They're probably not going to play a lot of their starters.
Yeah.
So I think the opportunity is there for us to look pretty good against them because Chicago's really not going to try to win this game, even though they're going to be in front of their home crowd.
Thanks, Jeremy.
From that perspective, I'm going to say that this is going to be a pretty competitive game. I don't know what the over-under is on it. Anybody have an over-under on it? No, I don't
didn't
know.
even look. Did not even look.
I mean, Jeremy, I'm never going to take the over until they prove otherwise. But I'm going to say this is probably going to be like a 24-20 game, somewhere in that range. And I think the Browns are going to win this, again, just because the Bears aren't going to be trying really hard to win it. And we'll probably overcome enough of our mistakes and create a couple turnovers on defense to be able to give Todd Monken the feel-good win in his first game as a head coach.
Okay.
Well, 24-20 might actually be the over, Jeremy.
So Jeff's taking the over.
That might actually be the over.
I'm going to take the under, whatever it might be. I'm going to guess that there's going to be some ugliosity in this game. I'm coining a new term, just because, just because it's preseason, first preseason game. I don't think there will be a lot of scoring early, unless it's by the defenses. I think it'll take teams a little bit to get going. Probably not much in the first quarter. Kind of some of what we saw tonight. At least what I saw. But anyways, I like what Jeff's saying, though. I don't think the Bears are trying real hard, playing many of their starters, probably playing a lot of backups. So I got the Browns winning at 16-13 on this one.
Okay.
Same idea, just a little lower scoring, just because I think we'll see a little bit of ugly stuff here.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. All right.
Yeah. So
revenge game for Case Keenum.
Revenge game for
Case on the Bears now?
He moves around a lot. Yeah. But you know what? The guy's still in the league. You got to give him credit, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely.
Yep.
All right, Jeff. Any closing thoughts?
Just two different approaches, I think. The Bears and the Browns. Again, they know what they are. They have their quarterback and so forth. They are in the same spot we've been in the last few years when we felt like we had an open window They're just trying to determine the last few spots on their roster. The Browns are trying to solve much bigger problems in the preseason. Okay, it's plugging players into positions. It's deciding on second and third options. It's functionality on the offensive and defensive side both. I mean, we've got 4 rookie coaches, 4 that are all doing this for the very first time. Chicago is not there. They are looking at this as a warm up, and all they're trying to do is evaluate some of their end of the roster guys in preseason, much like we've been in the past. So the Browns have much more of a sense of urgency to try to win this game. So both of us think that's going to happen. We'll see how it plays out.
Yeah, go Browns. This has
Go
been the
Browns.
Browns Blitz. We appreciate all the interaction on the comments, and thanks everybody for tuning in. It's been the Browns Blitz, and we will catch you all next time.